Hey Mayor Aaron, what are you up to?
Hey, Co-Mayor Alexa. Well, Queen Diva Marie and I are just decorating for Jillmas a couple days earlier. You see, this is going to be an exciting month-long celebration of the holidays, and I'm super excited.
Kind of early to decorate.
Well, Mayor Aaron is going to film his first video of Jillmas, covering his figure wish list for 2026.
That will be interesting. Just out of curiosity, what Power Town figures do you want to see announced in 2026?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Power to... Oh, if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry. Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's Wrestling lives here. Make sure to subscribe to get a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews and everything women's wrestling figure and women's wrestling related, like today's video, where I go over my wrestling figure wish list for 2026. What women's wrestling figures I want to see come out in 2026, or at least announced. Now, the way that this video is going to go is I'm going to kind of break it down by series, like Ultimate Edition, Elites, Main Events, and so on and so on. And I'll go over last year's list and I'll cover whether the figure actually came out and my wish came true in 2025 or not. And obviously what's really exciting is going over my wish list, what figures I want to see in this coming year. So let's begin right away with the Ultimate Edition line. In last year's wish list video, I wanted to see Ultimate Edition figures of Bianca Belair and Bayley in their SummerSlam 2022 looks. I was there, maybe I'm biased, but I thought they had really toyetic looks and I was really hoping to see them in Ultimate Edition form. Now, we didn't exactly get those in 2025. We did get a Bayley Ultimate Edition, which was a really good Ultimate Edition, so that's cool, but we didn't exactly get the look I was looking for, but either way, her Ultimate is really good. Now, the Ultimate Edition figures I want to see released in 2026, I need to see Liv Morgan from the Royal Rumble 2025. How does Liv not have an Ultimate Edition yet? Mattel needs to wake up and realize what would sell, what would be a good decision as far as the women's figures go, and Liv should have had an Ultimate by now. Also, Io Sky deserves an Ultimate Edition, and why not choose her look from SummerSlam 2025? I mean, look how toyetic it is. It would be an amazing entrance jacket. These two figures need to happen this year. So I'm not going to lie, in 2025, we got some really excellent women's Ultimate Editions, such as the Bayley, the Tiffany Stratton, the Rhea Ripley, but I want them to continue that trend. I want to see more and more women released in the Ultimate Edition line, because I believe it was 2024 we got like one, and there's just no reason for that. So I really want to see more produced this year. But on top of that, I want to see Liv and Io, especially Liv, because how has Liv Morgan not got an Ultimate Edition figure yet? There's just no reason for that except Mattel sleeping at the wheel. So also, I mean, Io Sky has had so many really toyetic attires that I think an Ultimate Edition of the well-deserving Io Sky would be excellent. So I definitely want to see those two women released in the Ultimate Edition line this year, and preferably in those attires that I covered. With all the predominantly male WWE Mattel lines being pushed out there, why not give us women's wrestling figure collectors something to be proud of? Give us an all-women's exclusive Elite series based on the Evolution 2 pay-per-view, and we could get brand new attires and Elite form of superstars like Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and JC Jane. Mattel already has premium live event branded Elite series. We got the SummerSlam set, we got the Royal Rumble set, and so on. So why not have, even if it's just one series, why not have an Evolution set? We have Elite women's figures of their attires from that night. I think it would be a great celebration of not just Evolution, but the women, right? And honestly, this would be a way for Mattel to save face a little bit and show that they do actually care about the women's division and about the women's wrestling figure collectors like us. Because right now, they're just not showing us that. They're just not. There's no way around it. So I think if they gave us an exclusive Elite Evolution line with all women, I think that would definitely make me happy. In last year's video, the elites that I wanted to see Mattel release in 2025 was a Mi-Chin. I wanted to see a Bianca Belair that captures her muscular physique. I wanted to see an updated Scarlet Elite. I also wanted to see Bayley, Nikki Cross in that Wyatt 6 gimmick, and an updated Roxanne Perez. Now, what we ended up getting is we did get a Bayley Ultimate Edition, so I'll mark her off this list because the Ultimate Edition is excellent and it's actually in the attire that I wanted in Elite form, so I'll take it. We have an upcoming Nikki Cross in this exact look that I wanted to see. It's going to be an exclusive 3-pack, and we do have an updated Roxanne Perez coming out. I think it's not going to drop until 2026, but they at least announced it in 2025, so I count that as a check. Now, the women's elites that I want to see in 2026, I need a Mi-Chin. Her only elite is a Reckoning one with her face covered, not even an alternate head. I want to see a Kiana James elite. Her main event left a lot to be desired. I want to see a Maxine Dupree elite. How can you not capitalize on her success? Lash Legend definitely deserves an elite. We need to get an updated current day AJ Lee. And I also want to see Zelina Vega in her Scarlet type character. And if you're claiming that her and Alistair are not the same as Carrion and Scarlet, you are in denial. Alright, so Mi-Chin. How does Mi-Chin not have an updated figure? So her one elite is that Reckoning figure, but she was the one member of Retribution that got an elite that didn't come with an alternate head or didn't have a removable mask. So we kind of got screwed over there. So yeah, she needs to be in the elite line. I think Kiana James is super toyetic. She could have some really fun accessories. And also her main event figure was very generic, very plain. So I'd love to see her in the elite line. Lash Legend is well deserved of a figure. I really think she is skyrocketed to the moon. She has really done so well in the main roster, and she improved so much throughout her time in NXT, so she deserves to have her first figure ever, and that'd be awesome if it was an elite. I think Maxine Dupree is on top of the world right now, our current women's intercontinental champion. And I'm going to be honest, when Maxine was first competing in the ring, I was a little critical. Now, I didn't blast all over social media, but she wasn't the best in the ring, and I felt like they kind of threw her out there. It wasn't really right. But from when she first started competing in the ring till now, she has improved so much. And you can just tell that she really has put in so much hard work, so much dedication. And I am one of the biggest Maxine Dupree fans simply for that reason, because she has really gotten so good. And I think it was unfair how they threw her out there, you know, a couple years ago or so. So I love Maxine. She's amazing. She deserves to have an elite. Her main event figure is pretty good, but she definitely deserves to have an elite. I think an updated current day AJ Lee would be an easy release from Mattel. I think it would sell, and I'd love to see it in the elite line. Now, I'm really crossing my fingers. I think out of all my picks here, I really do think that'll happen. Mostly because we've got like CM Punk in every single attire he's ever worn since his return in the elite or main event line. So hopefully we get an updated AJ Lee. And I also want to see a dark Zelina Vega, her current dark character, or as I call it, the B-movie or the copy and paste Scarlet. Now, I say that because I feel like her and Alistair and the whole dark gimmick, even their entrance, it looks just like Alistair and Scarlet's, and it hurts because I love them so much. So, F for originality with that gimmick, but A for presentation because it looks awesome. And truth being told, I love Zelina Vega, so I'd love to see a new elite of her in this dark character. In last year's Wishlist video, what I wanted to see in 2025 was main event figures of Ava, Valhalla, Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn. Now, we didn't get any of these in main event form, but we did get an Alba Fire Elite, and I think we were supposed to get an Isla Dawn Elite, but the others we got no figures of whatsoever. So in 2026, the women's main event figures that I want to see, I just want the women's main event figures to be freaking accessible and available for us collectors, because as it stands right now, the state of the women's main event figures, they are not easy for us collectors to get. Now, if you get lucky enough to come across the pre-order on Ringside, if it goes up, you're going to be overpaying. You're going to be paying way too much. Or if you find it on the secondary market, if you get lucky enough for that, It's also going to be very expensive. And don't even think about trying to find the women's main event figures in stores, because a lot of people have come across brand new cases of the main event series and they either find one female per case or none at all. So that's almost a lost cause. So yes, as it stands right now, the women's main event figures have become like buried treasure, and Mattel in 2026 needs to change that. They need to produce higher quantities. They need to make them more available for us collectors. And if they're not going to in the series, then why not include the females in the top picks line, right? Give us another chance to get these figures, because I am going to be honest, on a positive note, especially the last few series of the women's main event figures, we got Wendy Choo, Kalani Jordan, that Jade Cargill. They have done an excellent job with the women's main event figures. So I really want other collectors to see the excellent job that they've done. And the only way to do that, increase the production numbers, make the women's main event figures available again. So going along with the main event style figures, in 2026, I want to see a main event Showdown 2-pack of the Secret Hervis, Alba Fire, and Piper Niven. I think this is a no-brainer. If Mattel doesn't give us this, then what are they really doing? I mean, these figures would look awesome paired with that upcoming Ultimate Edition Chelsea Green. So yeah, I need to see this main event Showdown 2-pack come out this year. So yeah, these are main event style figures. So this is one 2-pack that I really want to see. I honestly think this idea is really good, and I think the ball is sitting on the tee, and I think Mattel, all they have to do is hit that ball off the tee and over the fence. Now, unfortunately, Mattel has been swinging with the spaghetti noodle lately. However, I think this idea, I think it would sell, but I really want to see these two women in the Secret Hervis attires released. Go great with that Chelsea, as I mentioned. In 2026, Mattel needs to release, along with Ringside Collectibles, a Becky Lynch Defining Moments figure from the November 12th, 2018 episode of Raw, where she led an invasion with her SmackDown team and got an accidental broken nose and concussion from Nia Jax. Now, the images of this night with the bloody Becky standing tall and confident and yelling was a defining moment. Yes, she was removed from the upcoming Survivor Series premium live event because of this, but she ended up main eventing WrestleMania, the first ever women's main event in Mania history. How does it get more defining than that? So because this Defining Moments line is a Ringside exclusive line, they've showed that they can include blood on the figures, which makes this Becky an easy choice. Now, they showed this on a Stone Cold Steve Austin and an upcoming New Jack, so there's really no excuse why they can't release this Becky, why they can't put Becky in this line, and on top of that, why they can't include females in this Defining Moments line. Like, that just shows what Mattel thinks of their women's division if they honestly can't find or can't create any Defining Moments women's figures. But here's the thing, this Becky from this moment, this is not just a defining moment for her career, it's a defining moment for women's wrestling. So we need to see this coming out this year. And on top of that, this Defining Moment line, I don't know who makes the decisions on who gets released in the line, but it has jumped the shark countless times. A lot of these figures, you look at them and they're not defining moments. You can't even really list what moment it's from. And on top of that, New Jack. I'm excited for all the collectors that are excited for this New Jack. I facepalmed when I saw this because it's like, really? New Jack in the Defining Moments line? Can anyone out there tell me his defining moment in WWE? Or even as a wrestler, because I'm pretty sure his defining moment in wrestling was trying to literally unalive wrestlers. So, So the NXT Women's Division is my favorite division in all of wrestling. I think they're super talented, super charismatic. I absolutely love NXT. Now, that comes to no shock of anyone familiar with this channel because I've said this for a while. And also, cheap plug, every Wednesday at noon, I post a video right here in LumberJillville of the NXT Women's Weekly Wrap-Up where I cover everything that went on the night before in the NXT Women's Division, so make sure to check that out. But yeah, there are a lot of NXT women that I want to see released in figure form, so let's get into it. In last year's Wishlist video, the NXT women that I wanted to see released in figure form were Julia, Fallon Henley, Ariana Grace, Stephanie Vaquer, Wendy Choo, and JC Jane. Now, what we got is we did get Elites announced, and actually they're up for pre-order right now. They're in the same series of Stephanie and Julia. They look amazing. Can't wait to get those. And we did get two main event figures of Wendy Chu, and I have to say that made my year. I was so excited for those figures. They were hard to get, but I was happy that I did get them. I'm so happy for Wendy. She's one of my favorites, so yeah, she did get figures, but we need to get an updated JC Jane. We really do, especially an Elite. Now, the NXT women that I want to see released in figure form in 2026 are Blake Monroe, Izzy Dame, Fallon Henley once again, Tatum Paxley, Zarya, and Kendall Gray. Now, it is important to note that I would prefer to see these women released in the Elite line because I think a lot of their attires and also the accessories I want to see released with them would be better released in Elite form. Now, what I mean by that is I think especially with a Blake and also a Kendall Gray, that would give Mattel a great opportunity to give us a Women's North American Championship and also a WWE Evolve Women's Championship. I would love to have those released in figure form, and I would love to have those women released, period. In last year's video, what I wanted to see in the Target exclusive Mattel WWE Legends Elite line was Stacy Keibler in her Dudleyville attire, and I wanted to see debut figures from Mattel of Victoria and Jacqueline. Now, what we got was none of those. Not a single one. We did have a Bull Nakano announced, and we also have an upcoming Michelle McCool, but I feel like there's a lot of women's legends that they really need to try harder at releasing figures of. So, the Target exclusive WWE Elite Legends line has become a clearance line. There's no way around it. If you go to Target right now, I guarantee that line is going to be on clearance. I don't know how they're making any money from it, but it definitely shows that it's a passion project from Mattel because I doubt it's very profitable. And we also see a lot of unique men's characters and unique attires used on the men's figures. Really some deep cuts, which makes it all the more confusing that we haven't gotten a Victoria Mattel figure or a Jacqueline Moore Mattel figure. And especially in this line, it seems like a given. Now, a Dudleyville Stacy, I think, would sell really well. But yeah, we just don't see women released in this line very much. Now, we do have Michelle McCool coming in Series 30. Should be dropping anytime soon. And I believe it's Series 31. We have a Bull Nakano that they showed, which is excellent. However, we need to see more women. And we need to see some of these major players, some of these women's wrestling pioneers like a Jacqueline, like a Victoria released in this line. In 2026, in the Walmart exclusive Monday Night Wars line, I want to see Sable's first ever Mattel figure, and I also want to see Medusa. How can Mattel make a Monday Night Wars line that's been going on for what, maybe 2 years now, and still not give us a Medusa with the WWF Women's Championship in a trash can? That moment when she dropped that title in the trash on Monday Nitro, that is arguably one of the biggest fire starters to the Monday Night Wars. So the fact we haven't gotten that figure is very, very frustrating. So I really hope that comes out. I believe they have Alundra Blaze or Medusa under contract. Even if they said Alundra Blaze on the package but gave us that Medusa look from that night, that would work with me, but we need to see that figure. I don't understand. If you have all the Monday Night Wars figures on display, how can you have a true Monday Night Wars depiction without that moment? That was so big. It was really controversial at the time. Now, Sable. Sable needs a Mattel figure. Now, you know, it's no secret that Sable wasn't exactly a pioneer to women's wrestling. She didn't really move the yard marker, right, if you will. But she did have some pretty cool moments that was good for women overall. I mean, she powerbombed a man, Mark Marrow, on TV. And I think she had some really cool attires. But a lot of people have fond memories of Sable. So I don't know if there's some issues going on with her and Mattel, if they've tried contacting her. But Brock has somehow made it back in the company. He's going to get more figures. So it just seems a no-brainer to really try to get Sable to sign on. And let's see some 1997, 1998 Sable figures released by Mattel. And this would be the line to do it in. So in last year's video, what I wanted to see in 2025 on Ringside Collectibles from the Vault line were some pretty hard to find women's elites that can get pricey. Kelly Kelly, Elite 17. Liv Morgan, Elite 69, and Alexa Bliss, Elite 53. Now, what we got, once again, was Jack Diddley crap. Alright, so this From the Vault line is supposed to be figures that were either unreleased or kind of hard to find. And they really haven't done a good job of doing that for us women's wrestling figure collectors. You know, last year we did get that Natty, that unreleased Natty that also had a chase. That was really cool. I really was happy about that. But yeah, as far as like this Liv Morgan Elite 69 or the very first women's Elite Kelly Kelly Elite 17, like those are very expensive figures to find on the secondary market. I would love to have a re-release of those, honestly, because I want more collectors to have those in their collections, because not only are they hard to get, but they're amazing women's figures. So I really think that this line, and also the Top Picks line, really needs to focus on a lot of the women's figures, because those tend to be the more expensive and harder to get, especially with the current state of the women's main event figures. Like, why can't the Top Picks line, if they're not going to release them in high quantities in the standard lines, why can't the main event Top Picks line re-release some of those women's, like the Wendy Choos or the Kalani Jordan or the Jade? You know? In last year's wish list video, the AEW Jazzwares figures I wanted to see released in 2025 were Queen Aminata, Deonna Purrazzo, Athena, Camille, and Kiera Hogan. Now, what we got was an Athena Ring of Honor figure, which looks good, and we might have got a Deonna shown. At this point, I don't know. We'll talk about that in a second, but the other women, nothing shown. Now, let's discuss the AEW Jazzwares line and the future. Okay, so yeah, I don't have any wishes for what AEW women I want to see released in the Jazzwares figure line for 2026, and a big reason for that, and let's talk about it, is my speculation that I'm pretty sure Jazzwares and AEW, that line is dying slowly. I think we will see figures released of images that we've seen, at least I hope, like that Athena, that Mercedes, but I don't think we'll see any future series announced or shown. Now, I hope I'm wrong, but it just really feels, even in the community, a lot of people are kind of feeling this way, that the line is slowly trickling down, dying out, and it definitely appears that way. They haven't really been announcing series as often as they did when they first started the line. Store shelves are becoming more and more empty of those figures. You go on the secondary market, the values of them have really gone down. And even Ringside Collectibles is seemingly trying to offload the entire AEW Jazzwares stock. They even have chases and rares up for sale. So yeah, unfortunately, I feel like that line is slowly dying. And I hate to say it, because I will say this, that the AEW women's figures made by Jazzwares have been the best women's wrestling figures the last 2 years. And the design team over at Jazzwares should be so freaking proud of their work, what they've done, what they're doing with their women's figures, because they've given so much attention to detail and care and love and individuality to those figures. And once again, I didn't want this part to be negative, because I've loved the AEW Jazzwares women's figures so much, but I can't ignore the elephant in the room that the line does appear to be trickling down, dying out, whatever you want to say. And it's not the designer's fault. If I have to point the finger at anyone, it'd probably be Jeremy Padawer or any of those that when the line first started, they're really pushing them out, really promoting them, and then not so much over the last couple of years. So yeah, shout out once again to all the designers over at Jazzwares that worked on the AEW women's figures, because they are amazing, and hopefully they keep it going, but I can't help to think that this line is pretty much done. I really didn't want to make a segment about this company, but here we are. Okay, so I had big hopes in 2025 for Powertown. I was really hoping to see some more female TNA talent released. But as it stands, as all of you know, the TNA Series 1 and the Ultra Series 2 has not even been shipped to customers. We haven't gotten an update in a few months. So right now in 2026, I just want to freaking see the Jordans I bought, and I want to freaking see the Medusas I bought. 2 of each. That's about $200 total that they're just sitting on without any updates. And honestly, even if I do get those figures this year, I'm going to review them. I'm going to be fair, but I'm going to be pretty harsh, because honestly, that company has literally shot themselves. And even if they do deliver the figures that they seemingly keep reassuring that they're going to deliver, I don't think there's anyone out there that is stupid enough to order from them ever again. And I really hope in next year's wishlist video, I don't even talk about Powertown. I don't even bring up Powertown, because I hope that company really does collapse, because what they've done to the collecting community and what they're doing, there's just no room for it. And yeah. And thanks for watching my 2026 women's wrestling figure wish list video. I love doing this video every year. It's so much fun putting it together, making my wish list, and then seeing what actually comes true throughout the year. But more importantly, let me know in the comments what women's wrestling figures you want to see released here in 2026. And let me know, if you have the time, let me know for the Elite line, the Ultimate line. You know, let me know the individual series, because I would absolutely love to read what women's wrestling figures you want to see released in this coming year. So with that being said, thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Make sure to hit subscribe to become an official resident of LJV today. Now head on over to ringsidecollectibles.com and use coupon code LJV at checkout to save 10% on your next order of women's wrestling figures. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, y'all.